Now we'll discuss some challenges you may face while out storm spotting. Your primary problem is going to be obstructions to your vision. In this particular example, we have a pretty well-defined, at least a funnel cloud. It could be a tornado. The question is it hitting the ground? We do have this row of trees at the bottom of the picture, so we're not quite sure. Here's another example. Is this particular funnel cloud hitting the ground? Once again, we have an obstruction, in this case, a cornfield, in the way, so we can't tell for sure whether this is hitting the ground. In these types of situations, it is better to try to move to a different location which is not blocked. And if you can't get to a safe location to do this, then be sure when you relay your report to let us know that you are unsure whether it is actually hitting the ground due to obstructions. Here's another example. Is this a tornado? At first glance, it doesn't really appear like it is. The terrain and the trees make it difficult, but the spotter did move to a different location, and he saw a debris cloud at the ground, so he did call it a tornado. Scud clouds are a challenge. These are low-hanging clouds that appear to be attached to the bottom of the storm cloud, but many are not. These are very easily confused for wall clouds and funnel clouds, especially at night. When you see these types of clouds, look for a lack of rotation to confirm it is scud clouds and not actually a funnel cloud. Here's another example of a scud cloud. And another one. Notice how this one's not even attached to the main cloud base. Here's one that looks a little more impressive, but once again, it's hard to tell just from static pictures whether or not these are actually rotating. In this example, neither one of these clouds are actually attached to the main storm. Virga can also be a challenge at times. Virga is precipitation that evaporates before reaching the ground, and it often appears as streaks below the cloud. In this particular case, you don't really even have a storm cloud at all. The virga is generally going off of middle or higher level clouds, typically at least several thousand feet off the ground. Rain shafts are also a bit of a challenge as well. In this particular picture, we look and we see what perhaps could be a tornado. However, it's actually just an area of heavy rain that's being dumped out of the storm. Here's another example. So, questions that you need to ask yourselves when you're out spotting. We'll take a look at this example over here. Can you see it clearly? In this case, you can see it. There are no obstructions, although there is a bit of a hill, so that may be a bit of a concern, but there's no trees or anything like that blocking your vision. Is it attached to the bottom of the thunderstorm? In this case, it is. Is it near the updraft? Yes. We have little or no rain around it, and it is close to the main wall cloud, which is located just to the right of the funnel. Is there organized rotation? In this particular case, we can't really tell because it's just a single image, but the storm spotter did report rotation for several minutes. And is there any debris or any power line flashes? In this particular case, you can see a little debris cloud that's being kicked up below it. So this is the start of a developing tornado. By the way, when you are spotting, this particular location is really not a good place to do it because you're standing directly underneath power lines. Those could be blown down during a storm.